If you think we're done talking about 2024 horror films, you're dead wrong. We've already talked about the best horror movies of the year, we've talked about some unique films of the year, and now we're going to be talking about some hidden gems from 2024. Let's do it. Welcome back to the Nonstop Horror YouTube channel. I am willing to bet that you haven't heard of at least one or two of these films, and that's why I consider them hidden gems. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen any of them. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you like talking about horror all year long, and check out my 2024 horror playlist so that you don't miss any of the best films that came out this year. With that, let's get into the video. I have talked about Exhuma extensively on this channel. You're probably sick of it already, but this is still a film that I don't think is getting the attention it deserves yet, and that's okay. I just want to let you know that it's great and you should go check it out. It's a Korean folk horror film, and it's about a family who is cursed, and they find out that that curse is tied to an ancestor's grave, and so they hire some experts to move that gravesite to another place, and while they're moving it, they accidentally unleash some evil that's even worse than was out there before. A little bit of a gravesite uh-oh, if you will. This one is a little bit on the longer side. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit over 2 hours, so prepare for that. If you're looking for a shorter film, this one's not for you, but it's really interesting for anyone who's interested in Asian folklore, specifically Korean. And yeah, this one gets kind of crazy. It's bloody, it's gory, and yeah, a lot of supernatural elements, so it's just got a lot going for it. It's a foreign film, so you will be watching with subtitles, but just suck it up. It's over on Shudder. New Life is one of those films that's kind of like Stop Motion or Late Night with the Devil, where it's kind of in limbo between a 2023 and a 2024 film, but I'm making it a 2024 film because why not? In New Life, a woman is trying to make a run for it to the Canadian border. The FBI or some government agency, I forget if it's the FBI specifically, but they're after her, and she thinks they're after her for murder, but the trailer seems to hint that they might be after her for a whole different reason. But what could that be? I really like the performances of the two main characters. They're both women. We've got Haley Aaron as the woman on the run and Sonia Walger as the agent who is trying to catch her. Just lovely performances by them both. This is a great character study. The development of these two characters throughout the film is amazing. The FBI agent who is chasing after the woman kind of finds out some bad news shortly into the film, and so she's dealing with that along with trying to find this chick. And so yeah, it's just we kind of see this duality between these two characters, and we get to witness this arc that they both experience throughout the film. The biggest downside of this film is that I can't find it streaming anywhere yet, so you will have to rent or buy it, but I personally think that it's at least worth a rent. And I've conveniently provided a link to do so down in the description. The Devil's Bath is just one of those movies where you kind of have to be in the mood for it. It's pretty depressing and bleak, so let's just start there. It's about a woman, Agnes, who is kind of excited to journey into the married life. She's about to marry this guy named Wolf, and yeah, she's just excited for it and what that will bring to her. This takes place back in like the 1700s. So it's a folk horror, and so it's kind of expected that back then it's very black and white, what the role of men and women. And so she quickly finds out that that life is just not for her. She doesn't want life to be so black and white. And also back then you couldn't just say like, I want to get out of this marriage and get divorced. And so because it is so frowned upon to just exit a marriage, Agnes must go to great lengths to get out of this marriage and unfulfilling life that she has walked into. Again, I'm warning you, this movie is depressing, but it is an interesting exploration into the human psyche as we experience regret, loneliness, and helplessness. Trigger warning, I'll just put a trigger warning that things happen to children in this movie, so a lot of those are hard for me to watch. I probably wouldn't watch this movie again because it is just so heavy and dreadful, but I do think it's worth at least one watch. It is in French, so is it German? It might be German. I think it's German. Yeah, I watched some interviews with the filmmakers behind this, and yeah, they were very interested in the concepts behind why these things happened back then. So yeah, I just think it's one of the more interesting movies to dive into even after watching it, just the history behind it. It is kind of a historical period horror as well. So yeah, if that sounds like it's up your alley, go for it. Make sure you're in the right mood for it. The Devil's Bath can be found over on Shudder. I'm sure Mads will gain some traction as time goes on, but since it just came out in October, it's not quite getting the buzz that it deserves yet. The biggest praise and the most common thing you'll hear about Mads is that it was all done in one take. The night unfolds as one continuous shot, as if there were no breaks and no editing. And it's a pretty impressive feat, especially for a movie with so much action and blood and gore. It had to take like so much planning to get everything picture perfect. And apparently it only took 5 attempts to get that continuous shot correct, and it can be argued whether or not all 5 takes are just kind of edited together to make it look like it was just one take, because technically it can be filmed in one take but edited to spiced up, you know what I'm saying? Either way, it's a very impressive feat, but going into it knowing that it's a one shot can be distracting at times and kind of draw away from the plot and what's happening on screen. So Romain is a French teenager who visits his drug dealer on his birthday, and the drug dealer gives him a mysterious like red powder to snort, and he asks what it is, and even the drug dealer doesn't know what it is. So, great decisions all around, and so he snorts it up before going off to a party. On his way to the party, he sees an injured woman on the side of the road, and so he picks her up, red flag number 2, and she ends up infecting him with this mysterious virus, although we can't really tell if he's just tripping out on this mysterious drug or if what is happening around him is actually happening in reality. The biggest downside of this movie is that it starts off really slow. We end up following 3 total main characters, and I feel like Romain's section is just the slowest because, obviously we need to ramp up the outbreak and what happens when someone is infected with this virus. So it makes sense storytelling wise, but I do love just from the middle on, it's a fantastic film. It eventually ramps up to be one of the most memorable films of the year. The shaky cam along with the color palette and this sense of overall dread kind of gave me Cloverfield vibes at times. I personally absolutely love Cloverfield. And no spoilers, but I can't help but think that the ending shot was filmed as an intentional homage to Fight Club. You'll know when you see it, but you'll also have to let me know if you think I'm way off base. Mads is a Shudder original, so you know where to find it. When you bring up Nicolas Cage and 2024 horror in the same sentence, everybody's going to automatically think of Long Legs, but did you know that Nicolas Cage starred in another 2024 horror film? It's called Arcadian. If you've been watching this channel regularly, you've already heard me mention this film, but if not, let me tell you about this flick. Arcadian is a post-apocalyptic survival horror that explores the effects of loss and isolation and the invasion of these creepy things. Nicolas Cage is a widower just trying to take care of his 2 boys in this decimated new world. The earth is now filled with these monsters that hunt by night, so they have to be inside by the time the sun sets, but of course, inevitably, as all children do, one of his sons doesn't listen and isn't back by nightfall, and so Nicolas Cage must go out and risk his life and find his boy. Yes, we do get to see the creatures in this film, unlike something like It Comes at Night, which is shrouded in mystery, and you're either gonna love or hate the creatures in this one. Let me know how you felt down below. If post-apocalyptic creature feature is your jam, go check out Arcadian on Shudder ASAP. Now you'll probably see that Tubi Original logo on Lowlifes and want to give it a hard no, but I highly suggest that you reconsider. In Lowlifes, a family of 4 is going on a little road trip in their RV, and it unexpectedly breaks down in the middle of nowhere, so they're forced to stay at this rural family's home. And let's just say these 2 families have a very different way of living, and so their family values just kind of clash, and it's both families just trying to survive. The movie takes a lot of twists and turns, doesn't take itself too seriously, and definitely knows how to have fun. The performances are stellar, the writing is witty and clever, and Lowlifes just transcends its label as a Tubi original. It's not really scary per se, and it does lean a little bit more towards the slasher genre, and it's a gorgeous blend of comedy, gore, and ideal family values. So, are these movies truly hidden gems, or did you hear about all of them and I'm just dead wrong? Either way, let me know down below. If you end up watching these movies, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'm always open for recommendations from you guys as well. If there are any other hidden gems that you can think of, let me know down below and I'll give some quick thoughts on them. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we've been talking about 2024 horror all month long, it's been so fun. This was such a great year for horror. Make sure you're subscribed because we got a lot more fun coming to the channel this month, including a video on the top insane moments in horror of 2024, and we're also going to be doing a live stream where I rank movie posters from 2024. That'll be a great one where you can come hang out live and we can just chat about movie posters. I did put out a video of the 15 best horror movies that came out in 2024, and if you missed that video, what the hell are you doing with your life? You can click here to watch that. Down there is probably a playlist or another video that you'd be interested in. That's going to be it for me. Thanks for stopping by the Nonstop Horror to our YouTube channel, and remember to embrace the fear all year long.